remember the old war, Operator? Order seems to have misplaced those memories.
Okay, I fixed my Facebook. We're gonna get some people in here. Facebook.
I just need a hug. Not a...
Got stuck. Just need to mod. Trying to get my Facebook. There we go. Okay. Turn this light off. Finally kicked in. Damn, it finally changed. Finally kicked in and changed the edit. Okay, so I was playing this game the other day, and someone asked me, like me and Ken, I was just teaching Junior how to stack some crit on his weapon for his Netra cells, if you even know what that is. And most of the questions that kept coming back to me were, "Hey, can you teach me how to mod? Can you show me how to mod?" I had 4 or 5 people on there, and then I've seen it in this chat as well. So I'm gonna get in here too and see if I can find anybody that wants help. Let's see. Does anyone? Let me get it on the. I got a keyboard here. Let me keep on using the computer since I've got the computer streaming. Does anyone need to learn to mod? I'm live on Facebook and YouTube teaching. Live Q&A. Live questions and answers. All right. 1K plat completion. I don't understand what that means. Okay. All right. So, in 1 second, I'm trying to get this. All right. So, modding. We're just gonna pick a basic weapon here. Let's ignore. We'll start with the primary weapon because that's like the first thing you're gonna learn to mod when you get started. Let me see if I have anything low level. All right, so yeah, it gave me this gun the other day. All right. So when you start out, this is actually a weapon you get now when you start out. They just updated one of the old intro missions. You can see that if you get in. That'll be a story for a different video if we keep doing this. But anyway, so we got a primary weapon, right? There are 2 types of weapons in the game, damages in the game. Physical damage and elemental damage. Physical damage is impact, puncture, slash, actual physical damage types. Elemental, you've got heat, cold, electricity, and toxin. And then where the physical damages are kind of stopped there, The elemental damages, just like in alchemy, can be combined. So heat and cold makes blast, cold electricity makes magnetic, heat and electricity make radiation, toxin and electricity makes corrosive, cold and viral make cold, and cold and toxin make viral, and so on and so forth. There are also two different types of weapons in the game, and there are exceptions, especially with ribbon mods and things of that nature, but we're not going to get too advanced right now. Crit weapons and status weapons. All right. So my favorite are crit weapons, but there's a need for both at different times, depending on your build and your overall setup. And again, we're not going to get too advanced here, so I'll stop there. Every weapon, whether it's a pistol, shotgun, bow, all have, the first thing you always want to make sure you have is just the basic damage mod. Just straight damage. For primary weapons, it is serration. So we're going to start there. You can see it increases. This weapon, first of all, let's start here. So this is a Thornback assault rifle. The other thing to make sure you want to see is all weapons have different mod capacity. And we'll get into that in a minute. But that matters when you're starting out, because that's how much capacity. These mods all have a number on them. And when you rank them up to increase the stats, that number goes up. You can see they have a maximum amount with those little lights at the bottom of them. And we'll get into doing the mods here, upgrading the mods and things of that nature here in a minute. So first thing we're going to start is just mod a basic weapon. We're going to put our damage on. You see this weapon starts with it says magnetic because I took magnetic off of it. It's grayed out. It starts with 6% crit, 1.4 times crit damage, status chance of 36%, which is actually decent starting out. 9.3 puncture, impact, and slash. So it's a physical damage weapon. Doesn't mean it has to stay that way, but that's how it starts out. Alright, so we're going to throw our damage on there. You can see damage literally increases any type of damage. So it wouldn't matter if that said magnetic or radiation or heat or cold or all the above. It upgrades everything. There's a million different ways to mod weapons. We're just doing a very basic tutorial right now. So I'm going to throw some damage on there. You can also use the filters. I like to do that a lot if I'm just looking for, because I have so many mods now. I've been playing for about 10 years. I'm just going to type damage. And it's going to show me, for the most part, it's going to keep throwing up damage. Now, this is what you call a nightmare mod. It means that it has what you want. It always has a good stat on it, but it always has a bad stat on it as well. So I'm sacrificing 120% damage for 40% accuracy. You see, I've only got it ranked up to like level 7. And that's because the higher it goes, the worse accuracy gets. So on and so forth. All right, so I'm going to throw on some. Wait, I got to get rid of that filter. So this one stacks. Oh, the puncture and impact are all the same, but it is a status weapon. All right. I like puncture. Slash is bleeding though. Let's go with slash. You always have mods for every type of damage as well. So you see electricity, puncture, toxin, heat, impact. So it gives you a good way to combine, stack the different damages and combine the ones when you're doing the elemental. I want to go, and you got multi-shot, which is just like extra. Basically, it's do it twice as much. Every bullet's doing twice as much. Just trying to do a basic one here. As you can see, it also starts with a negative polarity. So once you max the weapon out to level 30, you have your mod. You'll have your full mod capacity. I have a little more starting out because this weapon, because I'm master rank 23 or 24, and every master rank you get a little bit more early on mod capacity. Where if I was low level, I'd probably be sitting on 20 until it's rank 30, which you can see the Thornback assault rifle is rank 2 right now. These polarities matter because, as you can see here, you see the serration is maxed out. It cost me 14. See, it cost me 14 of that 52, and this heavy caliber is 13. Well, if I go to negative or Naramon polarity, I have a negative polarity here, or forma, and I'll show you what a forma is here in just 1 second. I'm going to pick slash because that's what I like. Puncture's good too. I may go with puncture just for this example. All right, so we're going to go with puncture. I got a negative here. As you can see, that costs 11, but if you match the polarity, it cuts it in half. And the same goes for the opposite. If you try to put it on there where it's doesn't go, it actually costs you more capacity. The only reason you never do that is if you have a build and you're just throwing a mod on, blah 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 blah. But what you have over here is an Exilis mod. You do have to have an adapter. I think I have one. I got plenty of platinum for now. Gave me a bunch of free platinum last month. So an Exilis mod is going to be something that is not going to be like damage wise. It's going to be like ammo capacity or convert secondary ammo pickups to 30%. It's going to give you better zoom, negative weapon recoil, negative fire rate. So as you can say, that's a nightmare mod. Let's see. You got a lot of options there. Arcanes, that's getting a little more in depth. You won't really get into those until you're good man. Most people get it around master rank 10 or 11 before they start messing with those. But if you've got the platinum and stuff early on, materials to do it, I would go ahead and craft an adapter. I'm going to do one on this just to show y'all. You can build these from materials that you farm, or you can earn platinum from purchasing it with real money. But you can also get free platinum from whether you're on computer, Xbox, or PlayStation. You can it's the paid currency, but you can also trade the paid currency for in-game items between players. So if I go and farm a brand new Warframe suit that just came out, and I've got a bunch of copies of it that I can craft, I can trade those to players for platinum that they have built up instead of buying it outright and not actually doing any of the work. But that's a story for a different time. I've also got 3 configurations, so you can have 3 different builds. You can add on to those for platinum, or I think there's another way to get those slots. I'm not really sure. It's been a while since I've done that. All right, so piercing caliber, we've still got 19 of 52 starting out. Serration. Let's do, what am I stacking here? Puncture. So since I'm stacking puncture, let's just find our puncture mods. Piercing hit. There we go. That gives me 111. This weapon here is a status weapon, so I can either throw on a status chance, which will increase that and make the puncture temporarily reduces the target's damage output by up to 80% and increases critical chance of the damage taken by up to 25% with multiple stacks. So the higher that status is, the more those puncture procs stack, and so on and so forth. Each one has its own. For example, impact causes the target to flail backwards temporarily with repeated stacks, increasing the size and duration of the stagger. For heavy units such as Xmas, it will also lower the Parazon Mercy Kill threshold. We'll get into that in a later video. If you want to know, you can message me. Total health with multiple stacks. So magnetic. That's something that is. We'll get into elementals here in a minute. We'll do elemental secondary, and I'll show y'all. All right, so I've done status. I can put 90% status chance, or I could have done. Yeah, there's also status duration. Status duration on. I don't remember how that's determined. I thought there was a timer for it. Right, let's see. Arcanes, you can get all kinds of crazy stuff for these. I've got a handful of primaries already. I've got on headshot kill, 120% damage for 24 seconds, stacks up to 3 times, 30% to headshot multiplier. You know what? I'm actually going to use that. That's pretty good for assault rifle. All right, not gonna have an eggs list this time because we're running out of room. Let's see. Also, go with one of the frames you start with. I'll get my Rhino out. One of the ones you can choose to start out with regular Rhino if you want to. He's a really good base frame. He's a really good anything frame if you know how to build him. I've got the Prime version, which is just a little bit stronger version, and we'll get into that later too, in a later video as well. So we're gonna pick a secondary. Let's pick our Vacor Marlock. I think I got a free configuration if I don't. This is what's known as a syndicate weapon. So it has a unique trait on it. Gain affinity to fill the Steel Meridian meter, and I'll show you what that is when we get in the game. To trigger a 25-meter blast explosion, restoring 25% health and increasing armor by 15% for 30 seconds. That's pretty good. All right, so this thing has a lot of mod capacity. It's 60, but it also has, and it's maxed out. Also has it says it has 4 formas there. That little cross-looking thing, it's a forma. I've got polarities on it. Does need a little bit of a rework. Haven't messed with this since early game, but we'll get there. So, all right. So let's start with damage. This is a status weapon as well. Let's see. We're gonna do. It's a Hornet Strike, I do believe, but it's been a while since I've done it. Hornet Strike. I'm gonna have to go back into it. It reorganized them. Hornet Strike, there it is. All right, as you can see, cut it in half for me. So I've still got a lot of mod capacity. The thing is, for every time you hit a form, some of them already have polarities on them, but every time you put a form on it and pick a polarity, it resets the weapon to level 1, and you got to max it back out. And I'll show you that here in just a second because my assault rifle is not all the way ranked up yet. So we'll put some multi-shot on there. Had a couple multi-shots. That also gives me some fire rate, which is nice. Magnum Force, because this pistol's pretty good. I think there's a special one just for the... Got Magnum Force. That one's a little higher. Let's use that one. Fulmination. I don't think this has a radial attack. Oh, yeah, it's counting the Justice as one. Proves the blast radius of weapons. That's pretty cool. And blasting range. Nice. Alright, Deep Freeze. So I would like to increase the status a bunch on this. To give me a bunch of puncture. There's a couple other things I'd like to do there. Let's see. I usually use corrosive on this, so I'll go ahead and show y'all elemental on this one. Alright. Yeah, you can put in... I'm going to do simple on this. I'll do electricity. Because for corrosive, I need electricity and toxin. So Prime Convulsion, which is negative 135%. Yeah, I think I use that. Right. You can type in corrosive, things like corrosive, and it'll bring up the things that correspond to it. But Jolt. There we go. These gold ones have less elemental damage. You can see it has 60% as compared to the maxed out silver one, which is 90%. But it comes with 60% status chance as well. And you can see that put me from 35 to 56, which is what I'm looking for. To get that as high as possible. So, let's see. Corrosive. Let's do Toxin, which is Pistol Pestilence, and I don't remember the silver one. Let's see. Pathogen Rounds, that's it.
I thought you had a cotton swab on one.
Let's see. Pathogen Rounds. Now, here's where it gets tricky. Let me go ahead and put me an Arcane on there. We'll do headshots, because I do try to do headshots on that one, or just kill. Melee kill. Over shields. Ooh. I don't have over shields on Rhino. We'll just do basic damage build at first. Now, as you can see, I have total damage 8,971 with a 2.8 multi-shot, which means it does more than just one. You'll see when I'm firing, it's basically double that many more, 2 times the bullets going out in one. Status, more or less. It's a little. It's not exact. It's not each damage instance has its own chance to apply critical hits or status. The number of damage instances fired per shot without consuming additional ammo. Each damage instance has its own chance to apply critical hits or status effects. So there you go. There is another build I want to try on this with some newer mods, some galvanized mods, but it's not going to be today. All right, as you can see, I do have this with the Y. Could also, if I wanted to sacrifice a little bit of damage, I could increase that status chance from that. So I'm going to show you that's not that bad, but you can see here we can go straight status. Some people do is go all gold. They'll take this out and do all gold mods, which I can't do that on the negative. Let me see if I got something to put on there. Forgot about those. So I can do it, actually. All right. Well, the rest of the elemental golds are this. So let's see. Frostbite. Let's see if it messes up the damage. I don't want viral. That one has to stay down there, though, damn it. Corrosive and heat, that'll work. So now, because I did all gold status mods, I forgot not too long ago, they have physical damage status mods as well. Anyway, as you can see, that brought my status up to 119%. Overall damage is only 6,000, but with that status, I'm going to be doing heat damage, which heat sets the enemies on fire, cause them to panic, temporarily reduces their armor up to 50% with multiple stacks, so that's good. Plus I got a little impact, a little slash, and corrosive, which temporarily removes up to 80% of the armor's value with multiple stacks. So this is a good start. This is a good build to start out. It also gave me the ability to bring a better excellence mod. So let's go to excellence. It's a Y polarity, so we can do projectile speed, which is basically fire rate. We can do weapon recoil and accuracy when sliding. Pistol mutation, that's a good one. Suppress is a good one if you're going to use it in a spy mission. Lethal momentum. I'm sure there's some better excellence mods. Probably some out there and I just haven't. Should have went negative. Recoil is really good. That's a good one. That one reloads it while it's holstered, so you run out of bullets, switch to your primary and or your melee and it'll reload the weapon. Lethal momentum, for now, it'll be fine for now. Ain't gotta be bougie. All right, so all the suits have abilities and a passive. Rhino's passive is he's so heavy when he falls, emits a great shockwave, doing 100 damage after landing from a great height. I don't know the exact limit on that height limit. I've got one of his abilities changed. I forgot about that. So let me see one that don't. There you go. Oh, I've got them changed. Trying to find. There we go. His first ability that you earn, and the most efficient one is his Rhino Charge. Literally, just you can see there, just dashes through them. Iron Skin activates an overshield basically, and that gives you 8 hit points just like a shield would, except this one you have to recast. It doesn't recharge like your shields. Roar. It grants all nearby warframes increased damage for a short duration, including himself. It's a 65% damage increase. All these abilities also run off of these duration, efficiency, range, and strength. Not all of them had run off of all of them, but the reason I say that is because, for instance, Roar, when you roar, you get a 65% damage increase, but if you increase his energy strength, you get more. At 130%, you get 65, and it goes up from there. Rhino stomps, the more sufficient disrupt. So this is his ultimate. It's kind of like it stuns him in the air. He stomps the ground because he's freaking Rhino, and that's what he does. Boom! It's actually really super powerful. It's a really good crowd control ability. You can upgrade the duration on it, so they stuck in the air longer, and the range, so you get a lot more enemies if you're doing like a survival or defense where they're just rushing you, things of that nature. All right, so we're going to start out with Rhino. We're going to take these are the Warframe mods, but I guess we could go through the basics on that. Every Warframe's base stats are different, polarities and stuff like that. Health, shield, armor, energy, and I don't really ever pay no attention to sprint speed, except for on one of the speedsters, one of the two speedsters that I use. That's the only time I care about that. So, health. Rhino starts. Let's see if I got a empty. I'll show you how it. There we go. So he starts at. They all start at 100% on these, which everybody's base. Rhino's base strength. Not strength. I'm sorry. I was thinking of the base stats. Health is 3. You can see here. I took off the mods, so it went down to the base health: 370, 555 shield, 290 armor. That doesn't include the iron skin ability. Energy. His base energy is 150, so he's a little low because there are much larger mana pools, energy pools starting out. But that's just with Rhino, you're sacrificing a tank and strength for efficiency. So, and there's mods to help with that, but that's just the rundown. The first mod up here is your aura mod. As you can see, Rhino has a Y polarity there, just like the weapons. You have the same base. You have the same polarity types. We'll go through those later. Let's see. His auras are... Aura mods are the same for everybody. I'm just saying which... You want to, especially when you're first starting out, you want to match that. You can also form a spot that already has a polarity on it. That way, you can change the base build. The base. The reason you would do that to an aura is, what I'm getting ready to show you here. Now, just like in a regular spot where it doubles, it cuts the efficiency for you in half. Or it doubles your efficiency by cutting the amount of mod capacity in half of the item you use on that. If it matches, the aura is a little bit different. So as you can see, let's see, it's a Y. So I usually use Steel Charge. I put Steel Path on there. Not only does it double that number, it gives me more mod capacity. So watch this, 60 out of 60, right? If I put Steel Charge, which Steel Charge is one of the higher aura numbers, polarities, it goes to 18, and that number gets added to my mod capacity. So that's why matching that up and having it maxed out and all that is a really good idea. All right, so with Rhino, it's his base build. I just run Vitality, which is health. I get him as much energy as I can because his energy pool is really bad. Adaptation is one of my favorite mods. It gives you 10% resistant damage to a specific damage type for 20 seconds, and it stacks up to 90%, which when you're constantly getting berated by bullets and melees and things like that, it comes in really good handy, and I'll show you how that works in the game because there'll actually be little number stacks instead at the top. Add to his armor. If you've got a really good iron skin build, you don't have to run armor early game. I just do because Rhino is Rhino. Definitely want to get that ability strength in. Increases it gives me more iron skin and a stronger roar. Efficiency means it costs less energy. You can go to each ability and you can see it costs drain 35, drain 17.5. That's how much energy it takes to cast that ability. So Streamline saves me 30% off of that. Every frame has augment mods, except when they first come out. Sometimes it takes a while before they release them. But Augment mod is something that will go on your setup, and it will mod one specific ability. And for him, I'm using Roar. It gains 40% range. Enemies within 25 meters are knocked down and suffer 5 stacks of puncture status. And as we said, we read a while ago, the puncture status increases crit chance and things of that nature. They do less damage and all that. This is an armor and health mod, because you can never have too much of that with Rhino. Surprised I'm not using Vigor on that. That's only 90%. That's only, armor and health. Okay, yeah. That's because it's armor, not shields. I don't really do shields on him. But if you use Iron Skin right, you never need it. You get 2 arcane slots on Warframes. I am using Arcane Guardian. These are just my base ones. They're not like for no special build. I use it on just about everything for beginning builds because they are so kind of overpowered. 15% chance for 900 armor for 20 seconds, plus 1 Arcane Revive. And I'll explain the Arcane Revive in a minute. That 15% chance when you're getting hit with thousands of bullets adds up really quick. Blessing, 24% max health, stacks up to 50 times on health pickup. So if I already have full health and I pick up health, I can get up to 50 stacks of more max health plus 24 at a time. Again, it stacks up real fast. So as you can see, I'll show you how that works. My health is 814, but when I get into the game and start playing, it'll be a lot higher than that. All right, finally, melee. Let's do the Reborn. Let's do the Redeemer Prime. That's a pretty fun weapon. You got all kinds of fun melees here. You got claws, you got swords. This is a sword I actually built. You got a giant freaking saw, looks like we picked up at Space Lowe's. Hammers, maces, melee. You got weapons you just wear, like power fist weapons. Take that how you will. Throwing weapons. Glaive is pretty cool. Got some fire axes. Got a bunch of them that have special abilities. Some of them will, for instance, the Sylvan Aegis. That's a really fun one. Flaming axe. Thought I had the Torpedo or whatever it's called. Oh yeah, Zenistar. So you can see it has a glaive in the center there that can actually be you can shoot it when you hit a certain button or during a certain combo. I'm gonna just go with for him, just showing y'all some stuff. I think I'm gonna go with a hammer. This is what's called a lich weapon. I'm not going to get too much into the modding on it, but I will, however, change this to retaliation because it's going to give me a bonus for my shields. Melee is the same way as the primary and secondary. You can stack. I'm going to run viral. That's my favorite one on this hammer. I got 162% crit chance. Show y'all what it looks like. I got a skin on it right now. Let's see. A bunch, but I've got 4 or 5. That's what this forgot this thing's even called. The shield dig. It's like a giant pickaxe basically. Let's see. Let's do. I like the wrench for some reason. I don't know why. All right. Let's put this on. This is a fully open platform, cross-platform, open public game. I'm gonna run it in friends only, just to show y'all. This is the star chart. You start out on Earth. That'll all be self-explanatory if you've already started or just getting into it. We're just gonna find an exterminate. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go the void. I like the void for some reason. Do an exterminate. Not going to get too much into the star chart because that's a whole different topic.
Neural sentry is operational. I'm picking up
All right.
threats
And I cast his armor. As you can see at the top, I get it just turned into overshield, and at the bottom there by the bottom right corner, you can see that second ability has square ability has 100 on it. I have 100 extra hit points, just on the shield alone. Now you can cross over to the. I know you can change shoulders. Ooh, there's my shield, dude. All right, this weapon here.
The tower's neural sentry has turned these soldiers into mindless attack drones.
It's a 3-round burst. I don't know if I like that or not. Ooh, what was that? Oh, my cat. I do have a cat. I do have a pet with me. It's a cavat. It's a cat. His name's Sunny. I named him Sunny, like my kitty. That's a whole different. Sidekicks are a whole nother ball game. I'll show you the lowdown on that here in a minute. Those challenges popping up are called Nightwave challenges. Weekly, monthly. They have. There's ways to earn really cool stuff that you'd normally have to buy. See all those numbers in the top right corner? Those ones with the timers on them that say 90%, and the ones without that are similar. That is each damage type popping up due to that adaptation mod that I added, and it's given me. I'm building up not immunity but resistance to that. There's an enemy in the game that has. There's an enemy or a tough enemy type in the game that has that by default. So I'm going to use the Vacor for a minute. Got to roar. It's going to give me 65% extra damage. You remember I added heat and corrosion, so it's crushing their. It's ignoring up to 80% armor when it procs, or it takes away that much armor. Yeah, strips their armor basically. And heat does something similar. I forgot exactly what it said. You see, I'm picking up resources and stuff. That's for farming. My cat's getting a little carried away. I don't have his Rhino charge. I changed his first ability to Empower. There is a thing you get later in the game that allows you to feed warframes to the segment of the ship, and it learns abilities from them that you can put on interchange between your suits. I say between your suits because this is just the warframe. This is who you actually are. You're Tenno. I'm using the adult version, the operator. All right, let's try out the hammer. Just want me to go up, I think. I'm in elimination, so I'm just in here taking out some enemies. You can see enemies killed, 35 of 138. Oh, shoot. That's what I get for trying to teleport. Yeah, the shield dig's a little overpowered. Especially because it's a lich weapon, which means it has 40. It goes up to level 40 and gets more mod capacities compared to your standard weapon. A lot to learn. That's the thing about a game like this. It has so many layers. You can spend 10 days playing and modding and all that, and just touch the tip of the iceberg on what you can really do. So my suggestion is, if you get in this game and you get overwhelmed, just focus on one thing. Just focus on what you can actually control in the beginning, and that's just getting your best base mods, getting the story beat, and getting access to all the different syndicates and clans and areas of the map and all that, so that there's nothing holding you back. And by that I mean so that you've got access to everything that gives you, different possible builds and things like different mod types and different arcanes. And because as you play, you don't start out, you're in the beginning of the game, you don't even start out with arcane slots. That comes after, I want to say, maybe it does now. It's been so long. I've been playing for about 10 years. I don't have everything maxed out like most people. They're like a 5-star rank now, but this game is so grindy as it is. If I did everything that it takes to get the mastery rank, as you can see, I'm 23. I would be so burnt out on this game, I would never play it. So that's my opinion. But All right, so you build master rank by ranking up weapons, suits, completing areas on the map. That goes for the regular star chart and the steel path, which is something you unlock once you beat the star chart the first time. Basically, just anything you do, any progress in game, stories go towards story quests, go towards it. Just about everything. And this is just one level here. So you've got open world maps where you can use necromechs. It's like a battle suit, another even bigger, more powerful battle suit. You've got stuff that really don't even do me no good to go into right now. If anybody has any specific questions, which I doubt anybody's watching, but if you do, send me a message on Facebook Messenger, or if you got Discord, I am BIGOLCOOTER, and on PlayStation, I'm fart_sparkles. You can send me a message directly on either one of them. And again, for nobody that's watching, but it is what it is. So it's just a game, just for fun. I've been playing the Void long enough. I know all the little secret areas to find treasures and stuff. So I'm gonna go up here and this one's howdy ho. I don't have the mod on where I can open lockers. Dang it! I usually bring that to the Void because it's fun. That dude was kind of creepy.
Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching.
I made the treasure door on both sides. Yay! Wasn't much of a treasure, it was just supplies, but that's fine. Never run out of those, I can tell you that. I don't care how long you play, there's always farming to do. Also, these things in the center, these orbs, they're called death orbs. If you have a prime warframe, and I don't know if the one that's open on top will do it or not. Yeah, it did. It gave me energy. You get on top of them with your primed frame, and it'll fill up your energy. Something about the Orokin's connection. The Orokin built the prime frames. It's something about their connection to the Void. I don't remember exactly what. That is some lore. There is, if you're more of a lore type player, there is plenty of that in this game. Hours and hours. There's items you can collect and things like that tell stories. There's plenty of that in this game, trust me. And I've got players I play with that know more about the game, know more about the lore than they do actually how to play, and it's hilarious, but it is what it is. Here's another little treasure spot. If you're ever in the Void, you jump down here. There'll be a vent already open. You got to go through and knock the other one out. Go ahead and jump in this energy right here, water, whatever. You seen his passive go off just now when I landed. Those shields like that, not the ice shield, but the gold shield that will that's an electronic device that disables your warframe abilities. You get in that, you got to recast. I don't know if I like this assault rifle. It ain't real. I know it's only like rank 3 right now, but man, it feels like it takes forever to kill stuff. But when you first start out, ain't got no mods. Everything, you got to start somewhere. If anybody wants help directly sprucing up their builds and things like that, shoot me a message. Again, it's Fart Sparkles on PlayStation, Fart_Sparkles, and Big Ol' Cooter on BIGOLCOTR on Discord. Send me a friend invite. Let me know where you. Let me know you're just wanting some mod info, and we'll go from there. Here's another of them death orbs. They don't have to be active, as far as I know. What do they do? Oh, I'm max health, max energy. Yep, see, it filled my energy. Well, gave me a boost of energy. What was it, 350? There's the extraction. And that, in a nutshell, guys, is the modding system for this game. It gets a little more advanced than that when you run into things like ribbons and so on and so forth. But we don't have time. We don't have time left in the night to discuss how those work and how you get them and how you unlock them and how you rank them and all that, and roll their abilities on them. So, yeah. Again, this is Fart Sparkles, guys. Big old cooter on Discord. Everybody have a good night. I see I got one person. Maybe it's real, maybe it's not. Did you have anything specific that you wanted to see? Must be on YouTube. Nobody else watches me. All right, guys. It was live on. If you have any questions, I'm on Facebook. Carney Hopkins. On YouTube, it's fart_sparkles, just like PlayStation. And on Discord, I am Big Ol' Cooter, BIGOLCOTER. Shoot me a message on there if you have any mod-related questions or game-related questions, and I will help you the best I can. I'll get you taken care of.